Okay, so now let's talk about visceral sensory pathways. So again, I just want to point out that we're talking about sensations coming in. We're not talking about any motor commands going out. And we're also talking about visceral sensations. So that's going to be sensations from internal structures. Okay, so there are going to be 3 different main locations that are going to be monitoring internal organs. First, you're going to have these cranial nerves. So 5, which is trigeminal, 7, which is facial, 9, which is glossopharyngeal, and 10, which is vagus. All of these are going to monitor visceral structures located in the mouth. Okay. The pharynx, which is the tube you swallow, also air goes down that at the back of your throat. The larynx, which is commonly called your voice box. The trachea, which is that pipe that air goes down. And esophagus is behind that trachea area, and the esophagus is going to be the tube that food goes down. Okay, so cranial nerves monitor sensations from these areas. All right, and then the dorsal roots of your spinal nerves, T1 all the way through T12, and then L1 and L2. So remember, T means thoracic, L means lumbar. Okay, go back and review chapter 13 if you need to remember where those are located. Those are going to do monitor organs between the diaphragm. Remember, at the bottom of your rib cage is your diaphragm. So everything between diaphragm and the pelvic cavity. And then the dorsal roots of these spinal nerves, so sacral 2, 3, and 4, those are going to monitor the internal organs in your pelvic cavity. They're going to send those sensations up to the medulla oblongata to what's called the solitary nucleus. Okay, so the solitary nucleus in the medulla oblongata is going to receive those visceral sensations. Now, something you need to be aware of is that sometimes as visceral sensations are going up these tracks, your brain can get it a little bit confused with a somatic sensation. So you may be feeling a pain, but your brain, that from the inside, but your brain will interpret that as coming from the outside. And so that type of pain is called referred pain. Okay, and the reason why is because sometimes it uses those spinal thalamic pathways that the somatic nervous system also uses. Okay, and so that's why if you're having a heart attack, some of that pain comes up the spinal thalamic pathway, and your body perceives that pain, but it perceives it as pain coming from this left shoulder and arm area. Okay. And so this is actually true. You can see each of these places in this figure is showing where you're actually going to get referred pain. So you think you're feeling pain on the surface of your skin. Instead, it's coming internally, but essentially the wires are getting a little crossed in your brain.